Welcome back to my continuing adventures on SNOWRUNNER on PlayStation 4, episode 11, with me, MrSealyp. Here's where I'm at. I'm going to go a little bit off-piste on this episode. I'm on Smithfield Dam. Now, what I have been doing on here is off camera. I've just gone along and I cleared the blockage just here, the roadblock, and there was a roadblock down this edge here, which is the eastern edge. Down the eastern edge there was a blockage along the road there, which I've also cleared. Now I'm fully aware that on Smithfield, on Black River, I haven't completed Black River. There are loads of contracts and loads of things to do, but I was kind of eager to explore a new map and open up a new map. I also know that down the bottom here I've got the gateway to Island Lake, which I need to go and explore and want to go and explore, and then I've got the access over here to Drummond Island. But again, I've still got a load of contracts and stuff I need to do. All that being said, I've decided what I've done off camera. I've done a bit of work. Let's just take the handbrake off, take this into the garage, let's pop this away. Now in the last episode, if you remember, I was rather happy because I uncovered something, and it was the lift kit, high lift kit for the Scout. So if I go into my trucks, I'll show you my Scout. Look, I've high lifted it and then put chunkies on it. I've got off-road 39 inches on it. That thing looks brilliant. I love it. So I thought in this episode I'm going to give this a bit of a run out, but I'm not giving it a run out here on Smithfield. I'm going to go back over to Black River, because on Black River there's a challenge that I want to try, and I want to give it a go with this. I don't know if I can do it with this, but we're going to give it a go. So someone asked me actually in the comments, they're trying to put all their vehicles into the garage, and they said, well, the problem is they come into the garage but you can't obviously get out of your vehicle and walk out of the garage. How do you go and get the next one? Here's what you do. I'm in my garage and I've got 3 slots. Now obviously the Scout is retained, so that's stored in the kind of, you know, the ether storage. So what you do is just click on global map down the bottom, or you can go on local map. Local map's the one I want, sorry, local map. If I go on local map, it takes me out of the garage, and that list on the left hand side lists all my vehicles that I've got out in the world. So all I do now is go up my list, and for example my Paystar, which is out in the yard, if that's what I want to put back in, I click on that, takes me to it, I start that up, and I can bring that into my garage. So if I'm trying to put things back into my garage to tidy up or to move them off to another map, I can do that, or I can drive to the tunnel, or I can do whatever I want to do. So if I move that to the garage, that's now in the garage alongside my Cairn, so they're both in there. And I can do the same thing. Anything that I've unlocked, anything that's highlighted, I can go back out into the map and I can do that, and I can retain these. Now, other thing to point out at this point, because a lot of people, thank you for all the comments, everything that people have said. Sorry, I know this is a lot of ramble, we're going to get onto the driving in a minute. All the comments I received on the episode where I said, can people comment, let me know what they think, what sort of content. Thank you to everybody who commented. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for everything. You guys are awesome. Just honestly fantastic. Thank you. Something was also mentioned. I had worked this out for myself, but again, thank you to everyone who commented to say this. If I go into, well, actually on my truck now, and on customization, actually I'm just thinking now, I might have already done this. But if you click on something, for example the tyres, and I'm at the moment on 46 HCMI, because there was no point changing those. If you look where it says wheel performance, all 3 of those say excellent on-road, off-road average, and on mud poor. So it really didn't matter whether I went with it's just different tread patterns realistically. Now if I bought a new set, for example, I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. So let's do it as an example. If I buy this set here, fantastic, I bought that set. I've got my previous set sitting there. Now my previous set, if I click on those now, I can sell those. I don't have to keep them. I've got the 46. Oh, hang on a minute. No, I had all terrains, didn't I? What a muppet. I've done it again. Right, let's click on those. Let's put those back on my truck. That's what I had on 46s. The all-terrains. I'm thinking that's a bit weird. So now I've got 2 sets which I can sell back. So if I sell that set, I get my money back on the ones I just made a mistake on, but I can sell back my originals that I had on here. That's what I was trying to do. So I can sell those back for 3,600. So I don't have to sit on sets and sets and sets of tyres and all the things. I think I've still got my Farming Simulator head on, in that when you open up like a new engine category, you can't sell the old engine back, that kind of thing, you know. So when you upgrade, but you can't get rid of your previous versions. On this you can. So if you have bought something new, you can get rid of the stock version you originally had, which will either give you all your money back or offset a big chunk of what you just paid out. So I just thought I'd put that in as well. I thought it might help. So what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to go to my global map. We're on Smithfield Dam. And what I'm going to do is click on Black River. We're going to go down to garage entrance. Ah, no, hang on. Now, this is actually a fairly good opportunity for a teaching point, I guess, or a learning point. Not a teaching point, that sounds quite arrogant. A learning point. If I do it this way, and I move my vehicle and go to the garage and then recover it from the garage, deploy it, I've then got to drive from my garage to where I want to go. Where I want to go is here. This contract here, which says drainage, I want to try that one. And if you look, the gateway to Smithfield Dam is actually closer to there than my garage is. So in this particular instance, it's actually not in my to my advantage to actually do what I was intending to do. So from here, now I'm not going to go to Black River, I'm going to stay on Smithfield. So if I come back out and I'm back into my garage, what I'm going to do is actually, if I deploy the vehicle here and go through the tunnel, it's going to be far quicker and easier than going to my garage and driving all the way back across the map. So that's the way I'm going to do it this time around. Sometimes it's better to do it the other way around, it depends where you're going to go on the new map. So what I want to do then is go across to... go onto my scout. Hang on. Freeze. Farm dog does not want me using the scout. If I go on there, go onto trucks, go onto my scout, deploy it, and now I can leave the garage in it. So that's what I'm going to do this time round. Whoa. It still leans back a bit on the suspension, and although the suspension is now raised, it doesn't look raised because I've put the chunkier tyres on, and these are proper mud plug-in tyres, these. So I'm hoping it's going to work alright. It might be the car and still be a better vehicle. Now, a few people commented to say if you do the high lift kit on this, it does become very top heavy and unstable. The other thing I have also done on this is I've added in the autonomous winch. Because of that very reason, if it topples over, I can still use the winch even if the engine is stalled and it's not running, which I think is a fantastic feature on console for this version. We didn't have it on MudRunner. If you rolled over and you couldn't winch because the engine stalled and that was it, you were done. So unless that was a feature I never ever came across or didn't know about, but I'm pretty sure on console we didn't have that. So what we'll do now is whiz down the hill. I love the sound of this thing. It looks brilliant. Although every time I do click on the accelerator it does the re-rev again. I haven't got the all-wheel drive on, doesn't seem a lot of point at the moment. I'm not going anywhere that needs it. I have been driving a lot with the all-wheel drive on vehicles when I haven't needed to, but again, no biggie. Like I say, this may be an abject failure. I don't know how this is going to work because I need a better snorkel on it, because I don't have a snorkel. Oop, didn't want to go on that. So, travel to Black River? Yes, please. I will skip the scene, thank you very much. Right, start the engine. Handbrake off. Let's rock and roll. So I'm going to head over to the drainage job. Now, as you can see, the trees and stuff are all a little bit weird because it hasn't rendered itself in yet. Some of them are a little bit splodgy. It just takes a couple of seconds and it renders itself and then we're going to scold. So we're going to head over to that drainage task. It's not a contract. But I suppose it's a contract. It's a job that they want doing. Whoa. A few people have been commenting as well. I will respond to. I read. I'll say this again. If you're new to my channel, because you may well be, if you are new, part of the SNOWRUNNER fraternity, thank you very much and welcome. If you've come over with me from Farming Simulator to look at this, thank you. People are saying, does the steering improve? Is it getting better? It is sluggish on some vehicles. On the trucks it is more sluggish than these, but what you'll find is it's a slow return. That's the problem with it, is that especially on some of the trucks you'll find the return is quite slow, and then you find yourself in a position where you're constantly overcorrecting because you start to turn, nothing happens, then suddenly it goes, all of a sudden you're turning too far, you yank it back, and all of a sudden you're coming back, so you find yourself then in a bit of a snaking situation. I haven't found a setting yet which will allow you to adjust the steering sensitivity, but what I will say is the more you play it, the more you get used to it. Sometimes you get a vehicle gets a little bit of a skate on it, so suddenly starts to slide for no apparent reason as well. Again, you kind of get used to that. The overcorrecting eases off, you don't do it as much, so it just comes down to the more you play it. It's just a different driving system than you used to. This is not going to steer and handle like Dirt Rally 2.0. It's not going to, you know, or even Farming. Was this the drainage one? Handbrake on, show task. Yeah, it's time to drain the swamps. We installed some simple pumps out there in the 70s. They may be a bit old and rusty, but they should be functional. See if you can find them. So I'm thinking what we've got to do is drive out into the swamp and find the pumps. So there's one near the garage, or maybe I should have gone all the way over there. One near the farm. Now, a bit of these I may well do a bit of skipping of the driving, just getting to and from. The actual swamp driving itself I will do, but I've got 3 to find. Off-road truck is recommended, but I'm assuming I haven't got to collect the pumps. I've just got to go and find them. So, yeah, I mean, let's accept it. Put start tracking on, so that will tell me. Let's come out of that. Let's do this crazy thing. Like I say, I don't know how well this is going to work, but this is supposed to be now. These proper mud plugger tyres on it. This is now my beefy Scout. We have gone from Cub to Scout. We've moved up. So what we'll do, because as you can see, we're not on all-wheel drive, the back wheels are spinning, the front aren't, so all-wheel drive on. I haven't even had to put low range on. Diff locks on all the time. Let's just see how we go. I mean, I don't know how... Yeah, so I don't know. The Khan, I didn't have any problems at all kind of going through this. Oh, I didn't go through this in the Khan, did I? I went through in the truck. No, that's too fast. Lower range. Let's go into the low and get a bit of traction. That's better. It's going to be slow, but I'm not wheel spinning as much. There have been a lot of comments and feedback about mods, and I did kind of mention it in one of the videos, and I said that according to all their social media, it's coming for consoles in one of the phase upgrades and stuff. There were then some comments saying it's not going to happen. They're being very vague about it. They're not answering questions about it. It's not going to happen. We will see. I honestly don't. I can't say for definite. Yes, it will. No, it won't. You know, all I can say is what the social media is saying. It was supposed to be. They're saying it still is. I don't know. But what I will say is this: with what you get in the base game now, or if you get the season pass with all the DLCs that are due to be coming out, you're not going to run out of stuff to do. MudRunner, it did have a shelf life, and I would still keep coming back to it, and they brought out a few DLCs on console on MudRunner. This is massive. If you just play the base game version of this, you are not going to run out of things to do for hundreds of hours of gameplay. And I think the thing to think about with that is that you've got to remember, when you're looking at the price of a game, it's a lot of money to pay out for a game. Any of the new games is a lot of money. That's it. Low range, low range. Let's just keep plugging. yeah, it's a lot of money to outlay, and the price of games has gone up. Now I'm still thinking with my head on of like $39.99. You know, when PlayStation 4 came out and you were paying $39.99 a game, you're thinking, oh, it's a lot of money. You know, the PlayStation Platinum games that were even cheaper on PlayStation 3 in terms of that. You can still get good deals, you can get all sorts of stuff knocking about. But you've got to think, that was a long time ago. When PlayStation 4 first came out, things have changed a lot, and the price of things has gone up. It has. My way of viewing this has always been hours of gameplay put in. I'm going back to the arcade days, so for all you youngsters out there who don't remember those good old days, when you didn't have consoles at home, and realistically, if ever you went to it was at the seaside, at the coast, or you know, you might go to an arcade if you were lucky to have one near where you lived, and you were putting £1 into the machine at a time, or 50p at a time, to play on an arcade game. You think of how much money you would drop playing an arcade game for literally minutes of gameplay. So my way of looking at it now is, how many hours of gameplay am I getting, and then equate that to how much money per minute of gameplay, per hour of gameplay. Because if you're paying 40 quid for a game and you get 40 hours of gameplay, it's £1 an hour. That's not bad, I think. If you're buying a game for $59.99, $69.99, $79.99, it's a big outlay, I know. But if you get hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay out of that game, it's worth every penny. I personally think it's worth every penny. I have bought games in the past, I'll be honest. There have been a couple of Call of Duty ones because I prefer the campaigns, I do the campaign modes. I've bought some in the past that have cost me 40, 50, 60 quid, and the campaign's taken me 8 hours. I've done it, completed it, and then I stop and think, okay, whilst I do have the access to multiplayer and I can go online and do online play, if I don't play online, I've bought a £50, £60 game and had 8 hours of gameplay out of it. That to me is not worth it, and that's just my own personal opinion. You may disagree, and I get it. I mean, you know, it's all well and good when you're an adult and you're working and you've got spare money. You may be an adult and working and not have spare money. Believe me, you know, and I'll be honest and with you guys out there, you know, when I first started out doing this, I was still working at the school. I've been incredibly lucky with how this has all panned out. But when I was working and before I did my YouTube videos, I had weeks and months where I would go shopping with my wife and we'd have a calculator out. You know, you would go along working out what you could afford to buy, you know, and everybody will find themselves in situations like that. You're incredibly lucky if you don't. Now, if you're a kid, if you're out there watching it and you're a kid, or sorry, that sounds really derogatory. If you're a child watching this and you maybe only get pocket money, you might only get money to do stuff like this for birthdays and things like that. I get it. 60, 70 quid's a lot of money. If you go to your parents and say, can I have 70 quid for a new game? I know what I would say. If all of my kids come to me and say, can I have a new game, Dad? I'm like, I can't afford that. So I do understand. It's all well and good me saying, you know, you can offset it against hours of gameplay and it's well worth it, but if you haven't got the money to buy it in the first place, I totally get it. I really do. I'm just thinking this episode's going to be me just getting the first one, isn't it? I'm plugging away, it keeps going, I'm just chatting while we go. We're in low range, we're still chugging, it hasn't stopped and I can't fault it for that. Yeah, so people have asked me as well, will I do mod reviews if we get mods on console? I probably will. If we get new modded stuff come out, I'll have a look at it and we'll have a bit of a bang around. People have also asked, can I talk about the vehicles I'm using and what do I think of them and are they worth getting? One of the reasons I haven't been, and I suppose it's kind of in my head because I'm a farming simulator player by heart and that's what I've always done. I'm playing a new game and I'm kind of feel like I'm encroaching on MudRunner gamers, you know, MudRunner YouTubers, you know, so I'm kind of like, I can't really talk about it, I'm no expert, I've got no grounds to comment. But realistically, this is a new version of the game and these are all new vehicles and what do I think of them? Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. The Paystar that I've got, I love. I think it's a brilliant bit of kit. A little couple of upgrades, some off-road tyres or the all-terrain tyres, absolutely brilliant. The Khan, wow. Off-road, awesome. On-road, it's like driving on ice sometimes. It's not great. There aren't a lot of tyre options at the moment. I want to get a high lift kit for that if I can find one. I've had a couple of the different ones that have been. The Fleet Star was brilliant, loved it. but it was a little bit limited on what it could do and where it could go, because it was specifically designed to be on road, realistically. This thing is an absolute trooper, just brilliant. The one I'm a little bit disappointed with, and I think it's because I need to unlock some upgrades, which means I need to go to Russia and get some upgrades, is the Azov that I bought. Because people suggest it, a lot of people have commented, and thank you for the comments, to say, don't get it, you're kind of cheating, you're jumping ahead, it's an off-road vehicle for later on through the gameplay. I've been a little bit disappointed with it. I thought it'd be more capable. I haven't had too much trouble with it. I think it's probably because of the back I've got on it, so I'm probably doing it a disservice. So again, that'll be something I'll probably come back to and look at again later on and say, I'll kind of give a bit more feedback when I've used it more in Russia maybe and places like that. Come on, keep going. Keep going, we're standing low. We are still moving, but albeit slow. Now I could be winching now, I suppose. Realistically, that would be the obvious solution, wouldn't it? Where's my winch connected to? I have no idea where that's... Can't even see it. Release the winch. Now, winching, quick winch, I've mentioned it before. If you look in a direction and press click quick winch, it will connect to what you're looking at in that direction. That doesn't always work. Sometimes it will auto connect, and if I'm just looking over here but I want to connect over there and I press auto winch, it's going to connect in a direction I'm not really intending to go in. So sometimes you do still have to go into... What am I stuck on? Oh, that was a branch. You do still have to go into the winch menu occasionally. Not always, but every now and again you'll still need to go into the winch menu to help yourself out. Let's get into that box. We're almost there. Bingo. So that's the first pump done. Find the pump near the garage and pump near the farm. So what we've got to do now is get out of here, tonk across the map. So we're now right in the middle of this swamp right here. What we need to do is go right away across. We've got one at the farm there, and then we've got one... What's the other one? Have I lost it? Oh yeah, all the way out there. So we've got to go all the way up through the mountainside, and there's a swamp right in the distance. So this will be the next one we'll do, will be the farm. So if I put a marker on that... Oh, there we go. So put your marker on so you can see where I've got to go. If I come out of the swamp here, I can go all the way across here, past the drilling sort of rig, across the bridge I built if I want to, or I can come that way. That's going to be a little bit tricky, I can't really get across there. So it's going to be either coming across the bridge and all the way around this way past the fuel station, or back out onto the main road, which might be a little bit easier actually. Back out onto a main road and then come back that way. And like I say, that journey is going to be fairly uneventful if I go the roadway. So what we'll probably do is I'm going to skip ahead now to there. I need to get up here first, that would be a great idea. And this is a reason why I'm not particularly keen on having these markers. I don't like them that much. Again, that's just a personal preference. I'm not a great fan of them. So what I need to do now is get out of here. I think I'm going to go that way. Lights. I may end up winching a lot to get out of here, I think. Because it is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to. We are still moving. Right, let's lower the revs a little bit. I'm not getting anywhere by doing that. Just need to get a little bit more stable ground, come on. So yeah, there we go. That's my thoughts on the game and what's happening, and you know, pricing and stuff. I apologise if you know, like I say, if you're a child watching this, or you know, or anyone watching this that hasn't got the money to get at the moment, I apologise. I don't mean to come across as kind of I've got it, you haven't kind of thing. That's not what I'm intending. But I know a lot of people have been asking me, should I buy this? I can't say. All I can say is what I would do if I had the money. Yes, I would. Do I think it's worth the money? Yes, I do. I think it's a brilliant game. I personally think it's worth every penny, and if you're thinking of buying it, my advice, that is your personal preference. A lot of people have been saying to me, I've got an option of, and they're telling me 2 or 3 different games, which one should I get? Again, I can't say that. that's your own personal choice. I mean, there are certain things you're going to prefer to play. If you don't normally play off-road games, this may not be your cup of tea. You may not like it at all. If you like trucking, but you prefer the kind of trucking in so much as like normal kind of, then Euro Truck Simulator and things like that are probably more up your street. But again, we can't get those on, console at the moment. So realistically, you know what? Let's winch this. Yeah, that's better. I think it's going to get me out of here a lot quicker, isn't it? But if you want to do the, if you want the challenge of the off-road trucking, that kind of thing, then yeah, this probably is going to be for you. I can't honestly speak to the rhyme or reason of the blue screening that people are getting. I've had 2 blue screens in the time I've been playing this now in a week. Some people have said they've had 4 or 5 blue screens in 15 minutes. Again, I can't speak for that. I'm playing on PlayStation Pro. There's always the potential that there's a reason that you're having problems. It could be to do with your console. It could, there's so many reasons. I honestly wouldn't like to comment. Right, that's not getting me anywhere, is it? Right, so now in a situation like this, I could keep quick winching, but what I'm going to do is do that, and I'm going to pick one that's going to get me, hopefully, out quicker. So if I just go quick winch, tree to tree to tree to tree, yeah, that's fair enough, it'll work. But sometimes going into the menu and picking one that's going to get you out quicker and cleaner and easier is the way to go. Now what I can do now is I can quick winch to that tree because that's the kind of most obvious choice now. And bang, we're out. So, the drive over then to the farm, it's going to be boggy, but in all honesty, compared to what we've just been going through, this should be a doddle. And this thing is performing incredibly well. A capable little brute. I like it. Sorry, I keep swinging the camera around. A lot of people have been asking as well about in-cab. I'm one of those people. I've always been the same with FS19 as well, or Farming Simulator generally, where I like the look of the vehicles. I like being out of cab because I like to look at them. I like to look at the dynamics and what's happening, and the wheel spin and whatever it might be. I love that. I love that aspect to it. And when you're in cab, whilst that is more immersive, you I lose that exterior view, which I really like. So, what? No, we do not want to fall over, thank you all. This is nice, this is good. What a great bit of kit. Right, let's go into the upper low range. Okay, so it's a bit more speed. I've just noticed the fuel. No way, Jose. Can I get across here and up to the fuel station on 15 litres? Probably not. Let's try all-wheel drive off for a minute. That's brought it down quite early. It's kind of bouncing backwards and forwards, isn't it? Ooh, lummy misses. Let's go into normal rather than low range. Is that going to help? Doesn't seem much better in this, is it? Oh no. I'm going to run out. That's actually using more fuel than in low range. 4.3 litres per minute. If I go into my low range, that drops right down there. I'm going a bit slower, I guess. That's probably. Even in high-low range, I'm not hitting the 4. Oh, okay. Don't run out. Can I? I wonder. I bet this won't allow me to hook up to that. It's the wrong kind of trailer hitch, isn't it? Can I just use that service truck? All-wheel drive back on. That's assuming there's something in it, of course. I'm going to get stuck. Please let me hook up to it. I know it's going to seem a bit weird, but... not suitable trailer to attach. Well then why give me the option to attach trailer? That's just unfair. What about... Can I... Oh, what am I talking about? Oh, I'm such a buffoon. I've got fuel on the roof. What is the matter with me? Oh, dearie me. I'm such a twit. For all of you that were looking at the screen and shouting and yelling and going, you got a roof rack on, you numpty. These are the bits that other YouTubers leave out. The numpty moments. Right, nail it. I'm alright, I've got plenty of fuel. Keep me towing, son. And I know I can get up to the petrol station, which is just up the hill now. So, right. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to see you over at the farm in a minute, and we'll get into the swamp there. We'll get that one done. Then we'll head up the hill and get the last one done, hopefully. Come on. Come on, foul beastie. Well, it's not foul, is it? What should we call it? We'll call it the beefy scout, I reckon. That's what we're going to go for. I'm just enjoying driving it too much. Now I'm saying, I'll see you there in a minute. No, we're just going to keep... I mean, obviously I'm going to keep driving, but... keep going. Nail it. Oh look, there's one there as well. See, that's what I was saying. I'm over on Smithville, opening that up. There is so much left on here on Black River that I haven't done. I haven't even come close to. But that temptation to just race ahead and open up new maps and keep going is massive. Because in all honesty, I suppose once you've done one recover a tanker job, when you've done one go and get a trailer and bring it back and sell it job, there's only so many of those people want to see. There's no reason why I couldn't do those off screen, of course. And I probably will do. And like I say, I do want to do a drilling one, but I think that's going to be one that's going to span probably over 2 or 3 episodes, because I think they take quite a while. There's a lot of component parts to one of those jobs. I really am going to cut now, I promise. As you can see, I have skipped ahead to the morning. I swung past the fuel station, so we were... Where did we cross? We crossed there, we were going along that little track there, we came up there, past the fuel station, I refilled the Scout and the roof rack, and now we're just down here. The next pump is across that swamp, which is just there. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Crikey, maybe that wasn't the best. Come on, you little beauty. This actually doesn't seem as bad as the last one. We'll see how deep it gets further out. Actually, that wasn't too bad at all. Find the pump near the garage. Now that's up the hill. Now, let me have a look. Where can we get out of here? We go out that way. Yeah, that's the way we got ahead. So we might as well just. So we might as well just. That's right. It's not as deep as I thought. There's always that risk, isn't there? You just plunge in and. Especially because I haven't got a snorkel on this, that could cause all sorts of problems. But I could winch myself out. I do have the autonomous winch, so even if it does kind of stall out, I can pull myself out if I need to. Bushes. Pah. The Scout eats them in its tread. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 1 It is that way, isn't it? Yeah. Let's go. Little homage to Allier there. Any of you Fortnite watchers out there? Right. Crack on, MrSealyp. We need to find the hill. I think it takes us up around the back of where we unlocked one of the watchtowers. I loved the temptation to put a comment in about all along the watchtower was kind of, you know, and someone actually put in the comments when I said about playing the game and doing the videos, when someone put Jimi Hendrix even played it and then made a song about it, which I love. I think that's very funny. Made me smile, so thank you for that. I can't remember who it was. After my comment the other day saying, you know, what do you think, how would you prefer to see the videos edited, what would you want to see more of, less of, etc. I think I had in 24 hours 263 comments. I went through and read them all, but the problem is I can't then always remember who said what, so I apologise if it was you. Yeah, we want to be up here, don't we? So this is where we need to go. Love the sound of this. I think we've got the standard engine on this as well. We haven't got. I think we do have the option. Do we have the option for 4.4 litre? Did I put that in this, or is that in the car? I'm trying to think now. So I keep going, following the tracks, and I'm thinking this is probably going to be all right. Just going a bit. I did that on purpose to show you this. Honest, I did. Actually, I don't want to be on that winch point. Let's release that. So again, autonomous winch. Normally, that's it. You've had it. You need to be recovered. So with the autonomous winch attached. Oh no, I haven't got a winch point over the top, have I? Oh, I was hoping there'd be one on the roof. Oh, maybe that was the one to go for then. Nope, not that one. Come on, pull me over it, pull me over it, pull me over it. Keep that locked in place. Okay. Start the engine, release the winch, and don't tip over again, you muppet. There you go. Demonstration of the autonomous winch. All intentional. Got a bit over exuberant. And it does also show though that this is fairly top heavy. It's got quite a narrow wheelbase, and then with the roof rack on as well. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that, shall we? Let's go with that as my answer. My explanation. Oh man, honestly, I just can't describe. It's so. If you haven't got it yet, if you're not playing it yet, or you're thinking about playing it, just I don't know, the sensation, the feeling that. Again, this may not be a game for you. Weirdly, if it's not a game for you, I don't know why you'd be watching me playing it, but I just love it. The feeling is brilliant. The vibration is set to on. You don't get it very often. There's not a lot of vibration, but it is turned on the controller. It's turned on in the settings, but again, I don't know. Up the middle with smoke. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but let's just keep ploughing on. Oh, this thing's great. What fun. Absolutely brilliant. Man and machine in semi-perfect harmony. Oh, this is all exciting, isn't it? near the edge there for my liking. Another funny story for you. Well, I don't know if you think it's funny or not. Years and years ago, I've had various different Land Rovers over the years. I had a Discovery, 3.9 V8, lovely thing. Drank petrol like you would not believe. My brother also had a Discovery, as did my father. We all went on a holiday together. And there's a place down on the way back from... We went to Devon, anyway. On the way back from Devon, a place called Tar Steps. And Tar Steps is an old, ancient sort of place. But anyway, big, deep river, and the road goes down, and you can ford it. If you've got an off-road vehicle, you can ford the river. I wouldn't suggest attempting it in a normal vehicle. So, what we decided was, on the way back off our holiday, the whole time we'd been away, we'd all been kind of trying to off-road drive and do bits and bobs. It'd been good fun. So, we go down to Tar Steps, did a bit of off-road driving on the way there, and I think a picture of all three Land Rovers made it into one of the... Was it Land Rover... one of the Land Rover magazines. Anyway, that being said, on the way down to the holiday, I had experienced what I thought had been driving across ice. I'd had a sudden moment where the steering went a little bit funny, and I kind of skidded a little bit on the main road we were driving on. I thought, blimey, hit an ice patch. It was pretty cold, you know. What actually happened, unbeknown to me at that point, was I'd broken one of the castle nuts on my suspension, or steering, on the steering. One of the castle nuts had broken, and I didn't know. Drove the rest of the holiday. Then we decided to go off-roading, proper off-roading. So the whole time we were off-roading, and we did some pretty precarious stuff, I was driving the whole time with something broken on the suspension, on the steering, and had no idea. The risk involved, looking back, was like, okay, it could have been horrendous. I mean, properly horrendous. I'm still moving, that's why I'm just still... I haven't needed to use the winch just yet. And again, it's that kind of winch as a last resort. I know a lot of people go winch first resort. It's just like, you know what, I'm bogged down, I can't be bothered to sit here doing this for 5 minutes, bang, winch, go. And again, that is entirely your prerogative. Play it the way you want it. Drive it like you stole it. So let's up that a little bit. Give it some gas. And off we go. So, momentarily, we will... Oh, I put sides... then he did it again. I've also put sidebars on this, side step bits. Did I point that out? I can't remember if I did or not. Probably not. I just think it gives it a very nice overall look. So, once we get through this little bit, that'll be it. Job complete. This is what I intended to do. In all honesty, when I started this off, and again I probably should have looked in more detail before I started, but it doesn't matter, I thought all 3 of the points were at that first swamp. I thought I'd just go around that swamp in this, give a bit of a... Let's do a bit of off-roading, and bang, off we go. But it actually transpired it was a little bit more complicated than that. But in all honesty, not too much more complicated. We are still moving and grooving. We're almost there. Job done. And we're not too far away from our garage over here on Black River, so what I can do is drive back to the garage, kind of, I can put it then back into storage, retain it, and then we'll be good. We're fine for, come on, get going. I can then move back over to Smithfield Dam and carry on doing bits over there. I am seriously tempted though to go to one of the through one of the other tunnels on Smithfield Dam, just to have a look, you know, just a quick peek. Maybe that'll be the next episode. Sneaky peek, we'll call it. And we'll have a quick old, we'll have a butcher's. Cool, rain's probably coming down, isn't it? Honking. Come on, give it some power, let's just get there. I've been promoted as well. Getting up to rank 6. I'm way off. I know some people have said, I've reached rank 14, I'm on to rank whatever. You must be playing constantly. Except, now, I found all the pumps and that contract said drainage, so I assumed then that these swamps would all of a sudden drain and it would be a lot easier to drive across. That does not look like that's going to be the case. Oh well. So, now, we back out. And that is the end of this episode. I've done what I set out to do. I've been using the beefy scout and I love it. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.